Hello and welcome to Poetry in Style. So today we're gonna talk about poetry that can be found in music. And I'm gonna talk about a very famous Belgian singer, Jacques Brel. Jacques Brel. He sang most of the time in French, sometimes in Flemish. So I'm gonna show you the original text in French, and I also have a translation so that you can understand the text. The name of the text is Le Plat, and even though it's a song and it's meant to be listened to, it's actually a very good poem with very beautiful rhymes and beautiful metaphors, and it really shows the beauty of our country because, as I said, Jacques Brel came from Belgium, the same country as I, and he talks about the country in a very sad but also very beautiful way. And today I wanted to analyze that. First, I'm going to recite the original text, the French version, Le Plat Pays, and then I'm gonna recite the translation so you can understand the lyrics. Le Plat Pays, from Jacques Brel, Belgian singer. Avec la mer du Nord pour dernier terrain vague, et des vagues de dunes pour arrêter les vagues, et de vagues rochers que les marées dépassent, et qui ont à jamais le cœur à marée basse. Avec infiniment de brumes à venir, avec le vent de l'Est, écoutez-le tenir, le plat pays qui est le mien. Avec des cathédrales pour unique montagne, et de noirs clochers comme un mât de côte-cagne, où des diables en pierre décrochaient les nuages, avec le fil des jours pour unique voyage, et des chemins de pluie pour unique bonsoir, avec le vent d'ouest, écoutez-le vouloir, le plat pays qui est le mien. Avec un ciel si bas qu'un canal s'est perdu, avec un ciel si bas qu'il fait l'humilité, avec un ciel si gris qu'un canal s'est pendu, avec un ciel si gris qu'il faut lui pardonner, avec le vent du nord qui vient s'écarteler, avec le vent du nord, écoutez-le craquer, le plat pays qui est le mien, avec de l'Italie qui descend des Lescaut, avec Frida la blonde quand elle devient Margot, quand les fils de novembre nous reviennent en mai, quand la plaine est fumante et tremble sous juillet, quand le vent est au rire, quand le vent est au blé, quand le vent est au sud, écoutez-le chanter, le plat pays qui est le mien. With the North Sea as the last wasteland, and waves at dunes to stop the waves, and vague rocks which the tides go past, and which forever have the heart at low tide, with an infinite amount of mist to come, with the east wind listen to it all done, the flat land which is mine, with cathedrals as only mountains, and black church towers for greasy poles, where stone devils take down the clouds, with the passing days as only journey, and paths of rains for only goodbye, with the west wind listen to it want, the flat land which is mine, with the sky so low that a canal got lost, with the sky so low that it makes humility, with the sky so grey that the canal hanged itself, with the sky so grey that it has to be forgiven, with the north wind that comes to tear itself apart, with the north wind listen to it creak, the flat land which is mine, with a little bit of Italy that would come down to Skelt, with Rita the blonde which when she becomes Margot, when the sons of November comes back to us in May, when the plain is smoking and trembles under July, when the wind is at laughing, when the wind is at the wheat, when the wind is from the south, listen to it sing, the flat land which is mine. So what I find interesting in this text and what I find really beautiful is that poetry is about representing your reality. It's about representing what you hold dear, you know. And it can be experiences in life, it can be love stories, it can be many things. And it can also be talking about your home country, the place where you grew up, the place where you somehow belong to, you know. And a lot of poets will talk about beautiful countries and with lush mountains and really beautiful architecture everywhere and sunshine every day. But there is beauty in everything. And I really like this text because it talks about Belgium in a way that is pretty sad but also very beautiful. And this is not our reality, this is where we grew up, you know. This is my country. So there are very beautiful rhymes in French, you know, like in the French version, it really plays with the word that is actually very difficult to translate. There's one thing to know is that in the world of translation, it's very difficult to completely translate from one language to the other, even in a normal text. There are a lot of expressions that you're going to use in a language that you're not going to use in another language, and they're not going to mean exactly the same thing. So it's not easy to translate, but it's even more difficult when it comes to poetry. So the reason why I showed you this English version is to make you understand what the text was about, but obviously the text lost a lot of its beauty. For example, in French, it places the word, it places the rhymes in a very beautiful way. For example, avec un ciel si gris qu'un canal s'est... Avec un ciel si bas qu'un canal s'est perdu. Avec un ciel si bas qu'il fait l'humilité. Avec un ciel si gris qu'un canal s'est pendu. Avec un ciel si gris qu'il faut lui pardonner. It's like in English it says, with the sky so low that the canal got lost. With the sky so low that it makes humility. With the sky so grey that the canal hanged himself. With the sky so grey that it has to be forgiven. It's a very bleak picture, and obviously when you listen to the song in French, un canal s'est perdu, a canal got lost, un canal s'est pendu, a canal hanged himself. You know, the sounds are very similar, the sound very beautiful, and it's obviously very difficult and actually impossible to completely translate that into poetry. You know, which is the reason why poetry will always lose a part of its soul when it gets translated, and any text, but poetry even more. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this text is because, as I said, I'm from Belgium. It is my country, and it's a very beautiful country. But it's often very overlooked, and it's in the shadows of all the countries around, such as France or Germany, which are really impressive, and a lot of people want to go there, with their big mountains, the beautiful landscapes. Belgium has a lot of history. It has a lot to offer. But the picture there is pretty sad. It doesn't make you want to go to Belgium. Yet, I think it's beautiful in its own way, you know, because, you know, this is where I grew up, this is my reality, this is my country. And despite the sadness of his text, despite how bleak it can be, I think there's a lot of pride as well, you know. There's a lot of pride. Yeah, this is my country, you know, that's the way it is, you know. The country is pretty flat. Actually, the north of the country is pretty flat. The south is hilly. But, you know, it is where I come from. So when I write poetry, or when he wrote poetry, he talked about his reality, he talked about his country, that he loved, despite, you know, some of these things. And, you know, that's the reason why I find it beautiful, because in poetry, any type of reality can be beautiful. And I wanted to show you that, and I also hope that at some point, if you watch this video, please come over to Belgium. It's a really great country. It has a lot to offer, you know, just overlook the shadow of the other countries and come here. You're welcome. And I hope you like the poem. And I'm gonna put in the description down below a link of the song, because it sounds really, really nice. And last thing I want to say is that I hope at some point they will put together, and maybe they already did, all those texts from all those different songs, and I'm gonna put them in a book, The Poetry of Music. And well, that's my video for today. Have a good day.